Hello, good morning, everybody. How are you doing? So, I hope you're doing great. We start our discussion with lesson 3 with Proverbs good words are worth much and cost little. So, it means that you have to make effort in order to talk properly. Do not use foul language. So, it really decreases your position or status among the society members. So as usual, we're going through the 12 words that we are studying here. We start with number one, vapor. This is pronounced vapor. Vapor means moisture in the air that can be seen, fog or mist. So we are usually calling in Persian bukhar. So bukhar is a kind of moisture which is taken from the, for example, water or watery element of something. So, for example, when you're washing clothes, or when, for example, we have got some water streams, so some part of the water is just going as vapor or as moisture into the air. That is called vapor. So you have got three sentences in which the word vapor is used properly. Number two, eliminate. Eliminate means to get rid of or remove or omit. حذف کردن از بین بردن. So get rid of. So when we are getting rid of something, it means we eliminate that thing or things from our life. Sometimes, for example, you eliminate your friends from, specifically cyber friends, from some social media network. In that case, you're getting rid of them. Or maybe you're removing or omitting. The three words are quite similar to the word eliminate, but they are not absolutely identical. So in one way or another, they are related. Again, the word eliminate, which is functioning as a verb, is used in these three sentences. Just pay close attention to the usage of eliminate in these sentences in accordance with the context. And number three, we have got the word welling. So welling, a very wicked person, a very bad person. So that is welling. A typical moving picture, welling gets killed at the end. So the three sentences have been given to you in which the word welling is used. Number four, dense, closely packed together or thick. So dense means basically crowded, or closely packed together. It means that they are very close together. You're putting many things together. As a result, you're making them dense or thick. Number five, we have got the word utilize, which means make use of or use. So again, the word utilize is used in these three sentences. Just go through over them carefully. And number six, humid means moist or damp. If something is humid, it means basically wet, or it has got some moisture. So humid is the adjective, and then we can derive some other words from the word humid, like humidity. So humidity is the noun form of humid. So humid means martub, moist or moist or damp. And number seven, theory. So you're already clear. Explanation based on thought. Theory is something that we are inventing or we are creating, for example, a kind of thought frame within which we are describing something. Observation or reasoning, or a framework in which we are providing reason, or within the frame of which we are providing some logics and we are explaining something. Theory در واقع نظریه معنا میده. Number 8, descent means to come down or go down. پایان آمدن یا پایان رفتن. So descent means go or come down from a higher place to a lower level. And number 9, we have got circulate. If we are circulating something, it means go round, right? It goes from one person to another. It goes from one shop to another, or go from place to place or person to person. Circulate means به دوران آمدن یا دوران داشتن. Number 10, we have got enormous. So this enormous is not actually legible. You can look at this. Enormous is here, enormous. So it means extremely large. If something is very large, is too much large or huge, we can say that is enormous. For example, you can say, I had an enormous breakfast this morning. So we can say, or there was an enormous truck, for example, going to northern Afghanistan, you can say. And number 11, predict. So predict, pre means before, and dict means saying, tell beforehand. If we are predicting something, we talk before happening something. So that is predict, پیشگویی کردن. Number 12, vanish. If something vanish, So if something vanishes, this basically disappears or disappears suddenly means nagahan mafqud shudan va ya napadid shudanu gum shudan. So here, as usual, you have got a text here or an article in which the 12 words that we have discussed above are used in this text. So just go through them and exactly reflect on the usage of the words in the contexts. And then here, picture 8. So see, this is a picture. Look what of the words or which of the words that you have discussed or we have discussed together above is fitting in this context. Which of the words studied in this lesson is suggested by the picture. So this is a picture, right? So what kind of person does he actually look or does he sound? So depending upon your understanding and the words that you have discussed above, you are simply writing a particular or single word here and you're saying that, okay, this picture can be described by this word or this word can be described by this picture. Again, here, as usual, you have got some blank spaces. You have to employ appropriate words in these blank spaces in order to complete their meanings. So the 12 words that you have got above, you are employing words in these blank spaces. And here you have got some synonym search. Right, you have circulate the news when so you have got a particular word here, but down here you have got 4 options. So among these 4 options, you're using one, a single one. So circulate the news means what? Report, spread, interpret, or watch. Which one is correct? So when we are circulating something, we are basically spreading something, right? So when we are spreading, it means that we are circulating the news. News reaches to everybody or is outreached. So here again, you're just circling the best option. Down here, you have got a spotlight, some extra information about a particular word. For example, here, welling has been described by the author, and the author has talked about the history and etymology of this word, who has created, what exact date it was actually created at, in what was the context, and who used it for the first time. So all the etymological or historical information has been presented by the author about the villain in part of Spotlight. So here we stop. Now we are moving to your open forum 3. If you remember, last time I recommended you to actually employ appropriate words to fill out the blank spaces in this chart, and I'm sure you have done. So today we start from down here. Number 4, listening practice, which is Unit 2, Visual Art, page 16. So here, listening practice. So most of the tasks you are doing is basically associated with the audios that I have already shared. So here in listening part, first of all, you have to go and find that particular audio and then listen to that according to your understanding of the listening. Then you are filling out the blank spaces and you are providing the appropriate answers to the questions. So here, preparing to listen, you are going to hear a tour guide. A tour guide is a person who is giving information about those people who are just on a travel. They are, like we can say, they are going from place to place. So probably they are unfamiliar with the region, with the area. So they are renting or hiring somebody. As a result, the person is giving information, for example, to those travelers where to go, also what attractions are there, and for example, okay, many things. So here in an art museum, before you listen, look at the list of artists' names below. So here we have got the names of some artists down. Check the names that you know. Can you name any of their famous works? Do you know any other famous painters? Right, you have been given a number of the name of a number of artists. Right, so these are all the people. In here, check whether you know. For example, if you know this Leonardo da Vinci, you have simply the option to put a tick mark here. It means that you know this person, and even you can talk about the, for example, works that they have produced, what they have offered to society. So, in case that you know some any other artists, also you can add to the list of, for example, the names of these artists. So this is quite up to your background knowledge, whether you know these people or not. If you know them, for example, you can tick them. And moreover, if you know, for example, the type of works that they are producing, even you can name them. But unfortunately, you do not have any partner, so you have to do that as usual. That I was frequently telling you that you have to play two roles at the same time. So you have to do the same thing here, or you have to work in the same way here. So here exactly listening part starts. So you have to pick out audio number 10, listening for main ideas. So simply you're listening to the audio, you are listening for the main ideas, where you're trying to get the gist of the idea, summary or general idea of the text. So basically what topic the speakers are talking about. So here the question is, so first of all, the instruction says, listen to the talk at a museum. Maybe people are talking together. After you listen, answer the question. So here you have got two questions. What is the theory suggested in the lecture? So there is a lecture, somebody has presented a theory. Now, what is your understanding of that theory? Or what was the theory about, basically? Restate it in your own words. Now, you should not basically adopt the same words or the same way speakers have used the words. So you restate, it means that you are just getting the gist of the ideas, or generally you get the idea and then you are rephrasing them, you are like converting them into your own words. Okay, you have to do, so it should take some time. First play the audio as usual, then listen to the audio, then whatever you heard, just refer to this question, and then you answer this question in your own words. Simply tell, okay, the audio was about this. So you have to stop this video here while you are just reading this question, or while I am asking this question. Right now, for example, I'm asking you the question, what is the theory suggested in the lecture? So you have to start listening to the audio. After finishing the audio, you have to provide answer to these questions. So the answer or answers that you're providing, try to be in your own words. So if you remember, I have frequently told you that it is really important to set a goal when we are, for example, listening to a piece of audio. It is very important. For example, above, while you're listening for main ideas, the idea or the main thing that you're looking for is to know what is the theory suggesting. But down here, you are far more listening to the details. So there could be lots of details. So according to the details, you have been given here some statements, and then you're putting F or T, something like that. Depending upon your understanding, if these statements are true according to what you have listened to, you are simply putting T. And if you think these statements are wrong, they're not correct, you are simply writing F next to these statements. So here you have got, listen again, write T for true or F for false for each statement. Okay guys, please be honest and proceed realistically. When I'm saying that listen again, you have to go and listen to the audio again. So, and you have to get preparation for just grasping the details, and as a result, or depending upon that, or based on that, you should write T or A for the following statements. Then compare answers with a partner. You do not have any partner, so in case you're not sure, then you have to listen to the audio several times or multiple times. Listen again if necessary. So here, 15th and 16th century artists were able to paint details realistically. So according to the listening, if this statement is correct, you're simply putting here T, and if it is wrong, you're simply putting if next to the first statement. So you have to go and you have to go throughout from number 1 to number 7. So here we are working out unknown vocabulary. Guys, sometimes it is very probable and it is very common, and frequently we are facing with such situation that we don't know the meaning of particular words. But actually, this is not appropriate to just stay or make a pause and think about that particular word. Rather, you have to follow the speech or the utterances of the native speakers, And then if one word is actually missing there in one way or another, I mean, you do not understand the meaning, just guess the meaning from the context, right? So the same thing we are practicing here, working out unknown vocabulary. Working out here means figuring out or understanding unknown vocabulary word. Listen to extracts from the talk. Listen for the words in italics. Choose the correct meaning for each word. Number one, we have here tapestry. Probably means, what do you mean by tapestry? So something made of glass or cloth with colored threads woven into it. So probably you hear this word in the context that they are talking about the kind of handicraft people are using, for example, threads that they are wearing, kalicha. Even in Afghanistan, that is very possible. So they are producing kalicha. So kalicha, which is used as artistic piece of work. So tapestry probably means here A, B. So which one? Tapestry, something made of glass, or cloth with colored threads woven into it. So basically this is B, but here we can guess because we know the meaning of tapestry and we say that it means kalicha. So in case you don't know, if the meaning is unclear to you, if the meaning is unknown to you, then it is better to guess the meaning of tapestry from the context. So you have to make effort. You do your very best. In case you're not able, so that time you can consult with your dictionary. Look up the meaning of the words in your dictionary in case you cannot find the meaning, or you cannot guess, or you cannot, for example, work out the meaning from the context. Again, here optical. So optical, again, you have to guess the meaning of this word from the context. And then we have phenomenon, and then we have primitive. So these are the words that you have to guess their meanings. And then coming to part E, thinking and speaking, right? So first of all, it is very good when we would like to talk about something. It is really important to think what we are going to tell and what we should talk about. Then it is good to speak. So here, work with a partner, discuss these questions. So here you have been asked some questions. How do artists nowadays use modern technology to create art? So before providing answer to this question, it is really important to reflect on this. I mean, to think about this question very deeply. Once you are ready, then you have to utter, or once you have to, once you're done, you have to express your answer. So before everything, you have to think. After thinking, if you think that things are ready now, you can say. So you can talk. That is good. Number two, do you think artists who use modern technology to manipulate images in their work are as skilled as those who don't use technology? So this is not something related to the conversation, to the theory explained above. This is something is up to you. You have to think about these questions and then you have to speak about these. So you have to be very honest and realistic. So you have to do things where specifically these exercises in realistic way. Ask yourself the questions and then switch your role and then provide answers to these questions. So coming to number 5, pronunciation, word stress in nouns and verbs. So probably you have seen that we have some words that their noun forms, the noun form and the verb forms are spelled in the same way, but with little modification of stress location or stress shift position. So many two-syllable nouns and verbs are spelled the same way, but are pronounced differently. So this notion or this concept applies only to two-syllable words. That their noun form and verb form are spelled in the same way. So usually the stress is on the first syllable in nouns and on the second syllable in verbs, right? If we have such, for example, two syllable words that they have, for example, more than one functions, where we can say they are polyfunctional. So that form that is functioning as a noun, the stress pattern or the stress is usually placed on the first syllable, but if the same word is functioning as a verb, the stress pattern is located on the second syllable. For example, we have the word present, right? I'm saying that Ahmad, you're saying present. So present means that you are there, you are available, but also you can say present. So present and present both are spelled the same way. However, the only difference between the two is present is functioning as a verb, the stress pattern is on the second syllable. But present is functioning as a noun and the stress pattern is on the first syllable. Now, if you're talking about two-syllable words, if they are functioning as noun, the stress pattern is located on the first syllable, and if they are functioning as verbs, the stress pattern is located on the second syllable. So here you have got some examples. For example, the noun record, we don't know whether it is record or record, is pronounced record and we're right. So the noun, so for example, the noun, because it is noun, then we have to place, this is a two-syllable word, record. So if it is functioning as a noun, we have to place the stress pattern on the first syllable. We can say the noun record. The noun record is pronounced record, and the verb record is pronounced record. See, curd is in bold, so that is probably you know. So we have the word record is functioning as a noun, but record is functioning as a verb. So any other two-syllable verbs or two-syllable words can function this way if they have, for example, if they are multifunctional. I mean, if they are possessing two parts of speeches. So down here, lesson 2, 4 extracts from the lecture. Circle the word you hear. Again here, you have got some words that their noun and their verb forms are the same. So they are spelled the same way. However, they are pronounced in different ways. So just listen and think. For example, here, number 1, however. Some researchers, so here we have got suspect and suspect. This artist may have had help. So however, some researchers, after researchers, which is functioning as a noun, we have to use a verb. So if you're using a verb, so which one is correct? Suspect or suspect? So suspect is correct. You have to place a stress pattern on the second syllable. So down number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, you listen to the audio and accordingly you have to check, you have to mark which one is correct. Again here, number 2, listen to the sentence. Circle the word that you hear. Again, you're listening to the sentences and then you are circling whether this is contract or contract. We can say I am on contract, but you can say I am contracting with my friend. Again here you can say, okay, I'm working in a record company, but here you can say I am recording film. So that way, I mean, you have to listen to the audio or to the listening section and you have to think, for example, the speaker is pronouncing which one. Depending upon the way native speaker is pronouncing, you have to think. So with the partner, practice saying the sentences in exercise 1 and the pairs of words in exercise 2. So you have to go to exercise 1 and exercise 2 back. So simply practice them in order to make yourself perfect. So are you putting the stress on the correct syllable? Now there, because previously you didn't have the knowledge of where to place a stress pattern when we have got, for example, the sim-syllable system that they are referring to both noun and verbs. Number 6, speaking skills using expressions to show interest. Right. Sometimes you're talking with some people and the person is talking to you. But in order to show that you are interested in what the person says, because it is really important, if your friend realizes or notices that you're not interested in what he or she is talking about, probably he or she get maybe sad or so, or maybe the interaction does not go on well. So that is the idea, that you have to show that you are interested. So here this is basically culturally different. In Afghanistan, maybe when I'm listening to somebody, so if I would like to show interest, then I'm saying, oh, yes, okay, something like that. But in some other cultures, maybe it is a little bit different. But here, the speaking skills, when someone is talking, you can use expressions to show that you're interested in what they are saying. Exactly. Note that you can also nod. It means you can shake your head, move your head up and down to show that you are listening and you understand the person. So here we do not have any particular way or a strategy or mechanism to exactly show your interest or to indicate that you're interested in what your friend is saying. But rather, because this is English, you have to listen to, for example, the audio, maybe 2 or 3 people are talking together There is a kind of exchange or dialogue. Now, the first person is talking. You have to realize what activity or what, for example, tasks the second person is doing that shows that he or she is interested to what another person is saying. So simply you're writing down here. So here, man is talking. I heard this interesting program on the radio. So see, the woman said, you did? It means you heard it. So this is you did, in fact, doesn't convey any particular meaning. Rather, it shows the interest of the woman, that this woman is quite fond of what the man is talking about or what the man is saying. So these blank spaces should be actually filled out or filled in by those expressions showing the interest of another person listening to the other people. Down here, look at the list of expression below, read the conversation, and write an appropriate expression of interest. More than one answer is possible, right? This is up to you. For example, which expression you're using to show interest. So there is not a consistent or fixed way, okay, to say that this one is absolutely correct and this one is absolutely wrong. No, there is not such a thing. Then depending upon your understanding and depending upon your preference and your understanding of the context, you can employ these. For example, really? Oh, you did? You were? Oh, is that right? That's good. That's amazing, incredible, interesting. Oh, again, interesting. That is too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. Wow. So these are all the expressions we are using to show that we are interested in what, for example, another person is saying. So you have to employ these expressions appropriately in these blank spaces. So coming down here, we have got a speaking practice. Look at the list of events below. Check any of the events that have happened to you. Simply, here are some events. If you have faced, for example, any of these situations once in your lifetime, then you are simply circling or you're just marking them that they have happened to me. Met a famous person. Have you met a famous person? Probably yes. If yes, so simply you're ticking that. You're checking and you're saying yes. And down here, so any of them that you have faced in your lifetime, then you can check them. And down here, work with a partner. Tell each other about the expressions you have had. Right. So now, you do not have any partner, unfortunately. So you have to play two roles, and then you have to talk to yourself here. And you are describing that. For example, you have ticked one of the situations above and you're saying that, okay, I have faced them in my lifetime. Then you are elaborating on them. You're describing what happened, so where it was happening, what time was it, and then who else were there. So you can talk about different aspects with different dimensions of such situations. 3, answer the questions, then discuss one of your answers with a partner, right? You have got, or you have been given 3 questions, so you have to choose one, and then you have to talk about them. For example, what is the strangest experience you have ever had? The strangest or the most, for example, interesting experience that you had in your lifetime. So maybe it was something like very scary. You were really afraid of that, where it was quite unexpected, or whatever. You are just talking about them. Talking scale further. So take a tour at a local museum. This is something like you go somewhere and experience and so listen and watch how other tour members express. So you can refer to this www.oup.com and you can maybe download some more audios and listen to them. Okay guys, thank you very much. We stop at chapter 3. Next session we will start from chapter 3. Wish you all the best. Bye bye. See you.